Welcome back to Life Tells Stories, your go-to channel for real-life tales that tug at the heartstrings and challenge our perceptions of family, loyalty, and self-worth. Today, we bring you a story of betrayal, determination, and a journey towards true happiness. Have you ever felt overshadowed by a sibling or struggled to find acceptance within your own family? This story is a stark reminder of how the people closest to us can sometimes hurt us the most, and how we must find our own path to happiness regardless. If this resonates with you, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to Life Tells Stories for more heartfelt, raw stories like this. Let's dive into it. This story revolves around Sophia, a determined young woman who has fought her entire life for a sense of belonging. Since childhood, she was often overlooked by her parents, who poured all their affection and attention on her older sister, Isabella. Isabella, with her charm and beauty, was adored by everyone. She had a modeling career since she was a child, making her the pride of her family. Sophia, on the other hand, was constantly in her sister's shadow, treated as less important, and always had to deal with hand-me-downs and neglect. The most heartbreaking part of her childhood was not being able to pursue her dreams because her parents refused to support her ambitions. She was constantly compared to Isabella, and even though she excelled academically, her achievements were disregarded in favor of Isabella's glamorous life. But despite all this, Sophia persevered. Fast forward to the present, and Sophia has managed to build a fulfilling life. After years of hard work and determination, she found herself in a stable job that she loved. It was also around this time that she met Oliver, the man who would change her life. After 2 years of dating, Oliver proposed, and for the first time, Sophia felt that she was finally getting her fairy tale ending. The proposal was simple but heartfelt, just like their love. When Oliver asked Sophia if she wanted to be with him forever, her heart filled with warmth. It was a moment she had dreamed of, a chance to finally feel that she mattered. His parents welcomed Sophia with open arms, treating her with a kindness she had never known growing up. Everything seemed to be falling into place. With the engagement in full swing, Sophia knew that it was time to introduce both families. Despite her anxiety, she wanted to try one more time to make her parents part of her happiness. Oliver reassured her, suggesting they could keep it light if things got too tense. They offered a lovely meal at a fancy restaurant, hoping that it might help ease the tension. Sophia's family agreed only when Isabella showed interest. On the day of the meeting, her parents were uninterested in conversation and focused solely on the expensive food. They only engaged when the conversation revolved around Isabella and her achievements. Despite their disregard, Oliver's parents were gracious, and Oliver himself was supportive, making it evident that Sophia's happiness mattered to them. Sophia decided on a modest wedding, something simple but intimate, since she was worried about her family's unpredictable behavior. But before she could finalize her plans, Isabella called. Isabella was getting married too, and as fate would have it, she chose the exact same date as Sophia's wedding. The news was a shock. When Sophia questioned Isabella, she revealed her intention. She wanted all the attention for herself. She knew that all the family and relatives would naturally attend her grand ceremony and leave Sophia's wedding deserted. Her cruel intention was laid bare. She wanted to humiliate her sister yet again. Heartbroken by her sister's intentional cruelty, Sophia decided that enough was enough. She spoke to Oliver, and together they made a bold decision. Rather than quietly stepping aside, they decided to make their own wedding larger and more joyous than ever. They reached out to friends, colleagues, and even Oliver's father's business contacts. If her family was determined to snub her, she was determined to celebrate with the people who truly cared about her. Oliver's father, who owned a successful business, offered his support. They knew that by changing the wedding scale, they could make it a celebration that wouldn't be overshadowed by Isabella's pettiness. And as preparations began, Sophia finally felt empowered, as though she had taken control of her life after years of letting others define it. The big day arrived, and Sophia's wedding venue was bustling with guests, friends, co-workers, and relatives from Oliver's side who had come to celebrate their love. The atmosphere was warm and full of support, with everyone there to uplift Sophia and Oliver. As the reception began, laughter and music filled the air, and the couple felt on top of the world. And then Isabella walked in. With her fiancé and parents in tow, she seemed stunned. Her grand plan of overshadowing her sister had fallen apart. She had expected Sophia's wedding to be a miserable, empty affair, but instead, it was vibrant, joyful, and full of love. Sophia approached her family calmly, but with a newfound confidence. She asked Isabella if she was curious about why there were so many people at her wedding. Isabella was furious. She had assumed Sophia's wedding would be insignificant, but now she was facing the reality that the people she invited to her own wedding, including employees of her fiance's company, had chosen Sophia's celebration instead. Isabella's fiancé quickly became uneasy, realizing the people attending Sophia's wedding were actually his colleagues. When it was revealed that Oliver's father was the president of the company, Isabella's fiancé turned pale. He had no idea he was dealing with his boss, and now the humiliation was setting in. The scene escalated into an argument between Isabella and her fiancé, right there at the reception. Seeing the chaos unfold, Oliver's father intervened, asserting the importance of the day for his son and Sophia. He firmly asked Isabella and her fiancé to leave, calling out their behavior as unacceptable. Sophia's parents, who had tried to switch sides and pretend they had always supported her, were also asked to leave. This was the moment Sophia had been waiting for. She finally cut ties with her toxic family. They had belittled her, ignored her achievements, and tried to ruin her happiness. With her head held high, she asked them to leave her wedding, choosing, for once, her own peace and happiness over family expectations. Have you ever had to walk away from toxic family members for your own well-being? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your stories. After being publicly embarrassed, Isabella and her fiancé's relationship quickly fell apart. Her fiancé faced career repercussions because of his behavior towards Sophia, as he had angered his boss, Oliver's father. Their wedding, which was supposed to be a glamorous event, became the subject of ridicule among friends and colleagues. Isabella, once adored by her parents, was now disowned by them as they turned their anger towards her. The money they had spent on her wedding, only for her to be humiliated and abandoned by her fiancé, became too much for them to handle. They blamed her for everything that had gone wrong. Isabella, who had always been their favorite, was now facing the consequences of her own actions. For Sophia, it was finally time for a new chapter. She returned from her honeymoon with Oliver, ready to start a new life, free from the toxic influence of her family. Oliver started working for his father's company, with plans to take over the business, while Sophia decided to focus on being a supportive partner and building a loving home. For the first time, Sophia was surrounded by people who loved and respected her for who she was. She had the family she had always longed for, not one bound by blood, but one built on love, respect, and kindness. She learned that sometimes walking away from toxic relationships is the only way to truly find happiness. Sophia's story is a powerful reminder that family isn't always defined by blood. Sometimes, the people we share our DNA with are the ones who hurt us the most, and it's okay to let go of them to protect our own happiness. Sophia found her strength, stood up for herself, and chose a life free of toxic influences. Her story is one of resilience, self-worth, and the courage to fight for her own happiness. If you enjoyed this story and found it inspiring, please hit the like button and subscribe to Life Tells Stories for more amazing tales of strength and perseverance. We'd love for you to share your own stories in the comments. Have you ever had to make a difficult decision to protect your own happiness? Let's continue the conversation down below. Thank you for watching, and remember, no matter what, your happiness matters. Stay strong, stay true to yourself, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care and goodbye.